So you just want to say your name, the date.
Okay.
Yeah, read that into the conference call.
This is John Spolier. Today is March 2nd. The time is 6 p.m. This is an evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals in room 2.
Recording is recording is already
We're recording. All right.
Yep. And so you can, I can read the first one for you. I can read it through and tell you how we do it, or
I
you can read along with the
I'll just
script.
go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Well, you got a pew over there, so we busy.
I do.
Sorry for the confusion. We thought we got it fixed up. I don't know. Anyway, so John's ready.
So yeah. You ready to go?
Yeah, John.
All right. So I'm John Spolier. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Appeals for this year. I'm going to be the one hearing your case, or at least for this one. This is 255 Lally.
Okay.
Okay. And also, this is being recorded.
Okay.
All right. I just need to get a few things slated for the record here. Correct me if anything is inaccurate. So your appeal number for this one is 560.
Yes, it looks like it, yeah.
Okay. The property is located at 255 Loudly Boulevard.
Yes.
Okay. The owner of the property is 255 Lally LLC.
That's correct.
All right. The town has appraised your property at $2,316,100.
Yes.
Okay, and you're requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $1,545,000. Million, yes.
That's correct.
Okay. I just need to confirm that you are the property owner or the agent.
I am.
You are? Okay. Good. So I just need to swear you in here. Before I do, can you please state your name for the record and whether you're the owner or the agent?
Peter DiNardo. I'm an agent for the trust that owns the property.
Okay. Great. Thank you. I'm going to swear you in. Sounds like you'll be used to this by the time you leave tonight. Can I ask that you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. There's a piece of paper over there to your left. If you could just sign it and write your name on it, confirming that you were sworn in.
And you can just fill in the appeal number at the top, please. I think it's listed as appeal. And then you'll be able to match it up later, because some people's signatures are not that legible. What's your appeal number?
It's 560.
Perfect. Okay. I'll add that. You can add that right now.
Thank you.
Okay. Really, this is your opportunity to provide testimony as to why the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 is not what you feel it should be for that.
Well, I was going to ask you a question, specifically with regard to this property. The assessed value went up by $510,000, and we haven't seen that substantial of an uptick in the market on a property like this. I believe the prior appraised value was in the range of $1.7 million, and it's the same property, same square footage, nothing changed, and the town basically came up from $1.752 million $2,316,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not sure on what statistics you rely. I do have an appraisal here that was performed by a bank, and I was going to submit that with the form, but the bank appraisal, I'm not an appraiser. I have this, though. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's based on the bank's opinion of value. So,
Sure, so as to how your value is calculated, that's really a question for the assessor's office and the reval company. So, as Board of Assessment Appeals, we kind of are more, we just sort of look at the market value, so we wouldn't want to, we don't have that information to give you about how they can, why yours went up or down or something. But the
Right.
assessor, you can certainly call the assessor and talk to him about it. He could explain it, or the reval company.
well, sure. I mean, generally speaking, I mean, that's fine, and I get that, but, that's over a 30,
Right.
you live a home, if
I hear you.
someone says your house is worth 50% more, you might say, well, what are you basing it on?
Sure. Market value is really right. Well, that's what they try to get to, is the market value of October 1. So that's
I
really-
understand.
Yeah.
I get what they try to get to. It's hard for me to believe that the value in 5 years, based on the overall market condition, and I've been, in the real estate business,
Right.
on the commercial side, but I keep an eye on the residential market, and notwithstanding the recent uptick in buying due to COVID, the market has been pretty soft. Both the beach area and Greenfield Hill. Certainly the beach area, since it's been Superstorm Sandy, it's just been challenging, and I'm going a little far afield. But this is what I have, is the appraisal.
Do you want to submit the appraisal into the record?
Sure.
Okay, can you read, is that the value, does that match the value that you put on the form?
No, that's lower. I actually put the value on the form of the prior value of, I believe I put I did put that value on the form, and as I said, the prior value is in the $1.7 million range, but this is an appraisal, so this is the expert, if you will, not
Sure.
me. Thank you. I might think it's worth $1.7, but that's the appraisal.
Okay, and what's the date on when was the appraisal
The
done?
appraisal,
March 22nd, 2016.
16.
it was in connection with the financing, yeah.
Okay, so you didn't have one within the last year?
No.
Okay,
No, that's the only thing. I don't.
sure. So you don't have any recent sales data or any comparable?
No, that's the appraisal we got in connection with the financing.
Okay.
And that's really, I've seen comparables. The adjacent property, and I brought this up at the last hearing, has a larger piece of land. It's a larger home, and I noticed it was actually valued for less. And I mentioned that to Mr. Karen in our informal hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, gee, this is a nicer house for all intents and purposes, bigger lot, bigger house, and they did lower this by to almost $200,000. Initial.
They lowered yours as a neighbor.
They lowered ours from 2.5 to 2.316.
And this was from back in January you had your informal?
Yes.
Okay.
But you're still asking to go within your appraisal, so you're staying with that 1.7 number?
I'm saying, yeah, I mean, I felt that, the prior value is more consistent with the market.
Okay.
And that's what I, believe.
Yeah. And what was the one that you did the comp on?
Was that a sale, or you're just looking at the neighbor's appraisal?
It was just the neighbor's appraised value, but there was a recent sale, and I could pull that up. So the house to the right of this one sold, and that's very recently. So.
So while he's looking that up, do you want to just read him like I know it's sort of backwards, the conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, we do have
It might
4
take a
minutes
minute.
here.
I know, you're gonna
at
have
this
to keep
part.
on the page. Yeah.
So Peter will be representing, or I'll be representing your petition to the majority of the board in deliberation session for consideration and a vote. You'll be notified by mail of the decision within 7 days of the decision being made. We'll be making all decisions in March for this. We hope, yes. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you won't be able to appeal on this property again until the next revaluation. And of course, if you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. All right? And the instructions on how to appeal in court will be in the letter that you will receive with the decision.
Okay, so I'd like to point you to the other house that I referred to was a slightly larger lot. It's a larger house, and it's 217 Lally. It was purchased for $2,259,000.
How much was that number? 2 million?
Was the purchase price $2,259,000, and that was in 3/1/2016. And the current appraisal on the house is $2,339,000. So
there may be a lot of houses in the beach that are still undervalued, so that's part of the frustrating part when you look at your neighbors, so that's why we kind of try to talk about sales data, and if you can find a house that's sold that's very similar to yours, or for $1.7 million, then that helps support your.
Well, that's why I asked you if you go by square footage or exactly, what numbers they're basing it off of, because, that's what's confusing to me. Like the neighbor's house, the one immediately adjacent to 255 Lally is 263, and that house is it's a nice house. It's a little bit smaller, but that house sold in December for 1.7.
2020?
Yeah. It is a little bit smaller, but
Would you consider that a comp for your house?
Well, no, I mean, it's not a direct comp because it's a comp based on square footage, but it looks like it's 1,000 square feet less, so, then you have a little.
Right, the Cape versus.
Yeah, but the appraised value the town ascribes to this is $1,200,000. So I don't think our house is twice this, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
So based on the appraised value of $1.2 million on 263 Lally, and if it's 25% more, from a 3,200 to a 4,200 square foot house, shouldn't be 25% more in value, which is more consistent and in line with that appraisal. And that's my question. You have one on one side, one on the other. Right. One's bigger, one's smaller.
Where did the model fail?
Well, that's it. That's why I said if it's a per square foot number, all the towns valued it around 400 a square foot. So 400 a square foot times 42 is about $1,680,000, $1,700,000, right, which is consistent with the 2015 numbers.
I hear you.
So that's the question.
We were, experts in that stuff. So.
Yeah, I hear you. No, that's bad enough. I understand you guys are volunteers to get this headache.
We got 650 of them
here,
so.
So I have others. Are they with you?
You're with Alexis right next door. So yeah.
Thank you.
This folder.
Should I go over there right now?
She'll have her own folder. I think so. Let me just make sure she's ready. But I think you were her 6. I think we double scheduled you for some reason. Sometimes they put the names in first name, last name, first name.
Okay.
Your company is deciding to run some services. So there's no company stuff. The owner. The owner.
Do you have the, something that we can indicate that these need to be scanned in?
So the answer is yes. So the process is to paper clip them on the front of the folder.
That's what
Anything that's paper clip will get scanned in. And at the end of the night, if you just make a copy of, 2 copies of your hearing notice,
Okay.
put the original in the folder, take one with you, and
Okay.
then the third one will go in a pile for Ross. He's going to collect them all and accumulate them and notes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll deal with that at the end. But,
Okay.
and then, but sometimes I take my notes on a piece of paper, or
Yeah.
you may want to come back to it or take a minute or 2 now and
Yeah.
gather your thoughts. You know, it's tough because you hear so many, right? I mean, you hear different,
Yep.
everybody else. So you
Okay.
could be our probably, certainly, whatever.
Yep.
You did great.
Thank you.
Seriously. Can you let me know? I'll go get your next person, whoever that is.
Let's see here. By the way, I think this got put in with the wrong one.
Ross is looking for it. Okay, great.
Okay.
Oh, maybe did he bring it in? Oh, it just got put in that folder.
It just got put in the folder by accident.
Okay, perfect. Do you know who you have next?
I have Warren and Lori Laspa,
All right.
of 200 Lally, and that is,
200 dollars.
200 Lally.
Okay, and just we have those hearing logs. If you finish,
Yep.
if you just write the time on that, then you can just put that behind you and put it away.
Okay, log.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Go to log. I can take that down to the desk every time I go down or
Okay.
whatever. Yeah, she's going to accumulate them to that, or we have to get them stuff pretty quickly.
Okay.
Give this to Ross, and I'll send you, what about it?
Yep. Hi there.
Hi. I'm
Stay here. Have a seat there.
Okay. Quite a setup.
This is a historic building, right?
It is. Historic building is
Someday
crazy.
it will show its graces again.
No, I've been here in its full grace.
It has some beautiful rooms and.
It sure does.
Okay.
And John is one of our newer excellent members, so I'm sort of shadowing him tonight, but for a bit, but he's gonna
Yep.
do your appeal.
Great, thanks. Congratulations, John.
Thank you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Listen, it's always good to get some new blood, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm assuming you're Warren Lappo?
I sure am.
All right, well, I'm John Spolier. I'm one of the 9 members of the board. I'll be hearing your appeal today. Your hearing is also being recorded.
Yep.
Okay. So just I need to make sure a few things are correct here. Your appeal number is 247. Is that correct?
It sure is.
All right, and we're talking about 200 Loudly Boulevard here.
We are.
Okay. Your ask amount is $1,396,781. Sorry.
Yep.
1,396,781.
Correct.
The town valued it at $1,700,000. $26,200.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay, that's what you're doing. And are you the owner of the property?
I am.
All right. Excellent. And since you did, you're the owner and not an agent. For the record, could you state your name?
Warren Lappa.
All right. And I need to swear you in. Okay, so if you can raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. There's a piece of paper to your left there. If you could just print your name and sign it, saying that you've been sworn in, that would be great.
Do you want me to put my appeal number in there too?
Yes, you do.
I think it's 3-2 today.
32, yeah.
These are only our first day of this. I wish it was.
I'm still putting 20.
Cool.
Okay,
There you
excellent.
go, I'll grab that since I can help them out here.
Thank you.
I will sign it since I was here.
Okay. All right. So, now's your chance to tell us why you feel that your house should be valued at $1.3 million versus the town's assessment of $1.7.
1396.
139.
So John, I'm going to start with the easy stuff first,
Okay.
and then probably move into a little bit more complex. I'm assuming you have all my files.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let's start with the pictures.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, my house is not, based on the card, it says that my house is, by 4 bathrooms.
Okay.
Actually, it's 3, maybe it's just the way they cume it up. I have 2 half baths and 3 full.
And 3 full?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to get you a sheet. When there's corrections on a card, you kind of fill out a separate thing for the assessor. So
Okay.
let me just get the agenda up for you. Let's see. Then you can click on it, field card, you can confirm it, or even
Oh, it says 4. See, it says 4 and 1.5. So it should be 3 and 2 halves.
Okay.
And the pictures demonstrate that, John.
Yep.
Okay.
I see that.
I tried to do some panoramas because it's really hard to shoot bathrooms, but hopefully this is, this gives you an indication.
Yep.
Okay. And then it says we're 5 bedroom. We're actually 4, and the room on the 3rd floor has no closet.
So it says 5 and you're really 4?
It's 4. And so you have a picture of the 3rd floor room that has no closet.
Okay.
We actually stuck a bed in there because the kids came home for COVID, but I use it as an office.
Okay.
Okay. So that's really I just wanted to make sure, because that factors, I'm assuming that factors into the assessment. So I just wanted to make sure that that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to direct your eyes to the spreadsheet.
Yep.
Okay, and sort of walk you through the approach that I've taken.
Okay.
And so I try to hone in on the area that we consider the beach area.
Okay.
And so what I did was I took a number. So here, I'll start at kind of the high level.
Okay.
My house, based on the livable square footage, is assessed at the number that the town gave us at $575 a square foot.
Yep.
You see that on the top line?
I do.
Okay. If you look at, I'm not expecting you to go in and look at every one of these, but if you look at, recent sales and the assessment that was given to them in the beach area. So I'm not really shifting beyond Reef Road, and I'm not going beyond Beach Road. I'm staying within that pocket, and I'm not looking at anything on the sand, because I'm assuming that's going to have a different kind of value.
Mm-hmm.
So these are indicative sales. Now, of course, some of these were built at different points in time. Some of them are newer, some of them are older.
I see that you have the year built.
Yeah, and I put some comments in there. Some have water views, some have elevators, some are corner lots, because I know that goes into the consideration process, because we have a corner lot. And so I tried to give indicative sales. And so what I tried to show here is roughly, of the most recent sales in the past year, the average price per square foot is $457.
Okay.
So we are significantly higher than that. So that's one point. The second point is I tried to hone in on the comps now. And the comps that we use are 160 Edward, and I've included, the cards from all of those. 160 Edwards, you can see the picture. It's a relatively new house. It was built around the same time as mine. It's a corner lot. It's on a higher range of the comps at about 543 a square foot based on livable square feet. Similar finishes. And so now I'll move you to 365 Loudly Boulevard.
Yep.
Right around the corner from us.
Okay.
Which did I print it up? Oh, here it is. Okay. 365 Loudly Boulevard is, I can't lift my fingers, so it's kind of tough. Corner lot, right down the block from me, on Lally. Total gut renovation, raised, and so it's basically a new house with a pool, fireplace, and elevator. It's coming in at $473 a square foot.
And that was gut and raised.
Yes. It's basically a new house.
In 2017.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, and that house actually sold very recently.
Yep.
The sale price is actually higher than the assessment. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is, it's coming in at $472 a foot.
Okay.
So then I'm going to move you to 317 Loudly Boulevard, which is oddly enough, it's not as new as my house, but it was built by the same builder.
As your house?
Yes.
Okay.
Built by Shorefront Construction. So the finish is actually same architect, same builder. Not a corner lot. So I'm assuming we're going to get a little bit of a premium because these other lots are kind of narrow on Loudly. But again, so 497 a foot. I'm just putting it in there for context.
Okay.
Because I believe these are the comps. And then the last one is 270 Edward.
Yep.
So John, if you look at the pick on this.
This is 270
Edward? Yeah. So take a look at the pick. This is another raised gut reno, complete gut reno. Corner lot.
And that was built in 2019.
In 2019. So based on livable square feet and the assessment, this one's the outlier. It came in at $347 a foot.
Okay.
So I didn't, John, I tried to be realistic about it and not go over to, how well do you know the area?
Fairly well.
Okay, so I didn't go over to Fox, where there's been a lot of new construction. Fox is at Lally. Lally's, it's kind of like Roland, Lally, Penfield, those seem to be, more sort of comparable in terms of, desirable streets in the beach area, not on the sand. And so, again, using those four comps, I come out to $475 a foot.
And that's the average.
That's the average for the four comps.
And that's average per square foot or not?
Livable square feet.
Livable square feet, but that's the floor divided by, or floor sum divided by 4.
And you could check my math.
Yep, no, that's okay.
I'm a pretty good spreadsheet guy. And again, 3 out of the 4 houses are corner lots. One has an elevator, so there's different factors in each of them. Not everything, lines up exactly like mine. And my finishes are comparable to these homes.
Okay.
Just a couple other nuggets. I built, on this list, if you look at 85 Rhoda Ave,
okay,
and 42 Puritan, I built those houses. I was doing some spec building for a little while.
Okay.
I built those houses and I used the same builder.
Okay.
And, look at again, they're not exactly, but they're still in kind of prime beach area. Lower price per square feet.
Okay.
42 Puritan comes in at, 4,500 square foot house, 493. Rhoda's coming in at 520. So I just think I am one of the highest price per square foot homes in this beach area. That like I said, I've contained it to everything between reef, and it's pretty much, you look at it, it's pretty much very concentrated, so it's a similar area. You guys have one of the highest prices per square feet. The two other homes that are higher sold for well into the $2.5 million. One sold for $2.7. They have way more features than mine. And you've got me as the third highest price per square foot in the beach area, which I just think it's unreasonable.
Okay. And again, you have the 4 bedrooms, really, and the 3 full baths with 2 half baths.
That's right.
Okay. And I'm assuming your lot is fully buildable? Like there's no restrictions, water, lands, or anything like that?
No. No.
All right.
So, John, that's my case.
All right.
I think we got overshot.
That's okay. I understand that, where you're coming from. So what we're going to do now is I will take it to the majority of the board. We'll review it. We'll deliberate. We'll make a decision. If we deny your appeal, you have the right to come back next year. Okay? If we do make a change, an adjustment, you can't come back to the BAA until the next revaluation.
Okay.
All right? If you don't like the outcome of your appeal, you always have the right to appeal it in court, which will be within your written, decision. Okay, and that written decision will be sent to you within 7 days after the decision has been made.
Okay. What's roughly the time frame for that?
We're going to try to hold all in March. That's our goal, is to have all of them done by the end of March.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's 650. I don't know if we can make 650 decisions in here, 650 cases in a month.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So we're going to try. But
So, question.
Yes.
Was there anything in terms of I called Brad, who's I forget guys.
Ross Murray,
Ross.
Assessor's Office?
I called Ross and tried to get some context around the criteria that goes into an assessment. Is there anything that I missed or might have been off on in terms of making our case?
Just looking here.
I mean, it's a combination because they do the appraisal. They come up with a number through a model, right? They look at sales data and then they try to model it and make the adjustments to the model to get everybody to try to be within, a certain coefficient, say, of dispersion off of the model.
Right.
Throw the sales data in and then go back and pick a sum and say, okay, how close did we come? And that's how that's the model that they use called mass appraisal. So there's some videos online that Assessor's Office can send you the links to those if you want to, hear the appraisal company talk a little bit more about how they did the calculations.
Is this community val?
Community val.
Yeah.
But for us, we are just kind of, we look at the sort of the market value and say, did the town do a bad job? Did the town do a good job for your property, or are you aggrieved and we did something wrong on your property?
Right.
And that's kind of what our role is as the BAA.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, we don't get into how the model gets designed. Board of Finance sort of helps hire the company and does it.
Got it.
But,
Okay. Do you think we have a case?
I don't know. It's tough to say.
There's 9 of us, right, so.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you very much, Warren.
It was nice meeting you both.
Thank you. And this is the form where we compare, it says I have 5 bedrooms, but I only have 4. This is the form we would use to fill out and tell the assessor's office.
Okay.
You know, that, and you don't, like I said, I read the notes, and there's too many boxes on that thing, and I mean, maybe that didn't fit any of my cases today, so.
The bathrooms and the bedrooms?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a simple one.
Oh, yeah.
No, there were other random things. I was just like, I just gotta write it down.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Okay, well, thank you.
You're all set to go. All right,
Have a good
thank
evening.
you.
Yep, bye-bye.
There are some people who didn't hear back from the email when they had corrections on their cards. They brought it up at the informal and the corrections were never made. So we're hearing, I've heard a couple of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We told me about, you know.
Yeah. Just one contact number.
So he's, if you just write the appeal number, he can find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Put your name, I just put my name at the top, and then just write, you know, appellant says they have 4 bedrooms, or card says 5, they have 4, whatever.
Okay. So it'd be refit by field card scenarios. Okay. I believe I have Michael and Stephanie Tamulus on Birch Road.
Tomorrow's agenda, did you wait for that? No, well, that's 223. Did they put it on the website? Let's see, they called it.
No, you're right here, Tuesday, March 27th.
I did the say 223 up there, so when this is 32 agenda, they must have named it backwards. URL. Where are we here? Loudly Road? No. Oh, I wish we were that far. I think are you Fox Street?
No, I am Birch.
Birch Road, 274. All right, so you let me know when you're ready.
All right, give me a minute here.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of paper. I use the radiators a lot. I keep all my purples behind me. My radiators with my
I got my
finish.
purples down there.
Exactly, whatever system works for you, but that's what I said. Could you guys, I asked them to get us a bigger table so we could get the plastic off.
Recording persons and attending, that would be Warren, right?
Yeah, you can just put over owner if you need to owner. That's just really quick.
All right.
And normally, you know, it should be pre-filled, so as long as they're yours, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. We're trying to make the logs as quick as possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want me to send your next plan? Just write in a couple
Give me
minutes.
about 2 minutes.
Okay. How are we doing? Sometimes we have like 20 people. You see the whole line, right? Because I don't have the whole line. I do. Yeah. So you guys make them bigger. All of your people are here? Here. All 15 people. So the 640, 630 people. 630 here and 645 right here. Okay. And then, Raven, yeah. They're going to keep here moving for a bit. Yeah, but, probably, this guy. Yeah, it's like, and so the other
All right, I'm ready to go with the next one.
all right, I'll send it up.
Room 2.
Hi, how are you?
Hi there. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
How are you? Good. Have a seat. How are you? Good.
When did this all start?
Today.
Just today. Okay.
Just today.
I didn't realize we were on the early side.
You are. So, I'm John Spolier. I'm one of the 9 members of the BAA Board of Assessment Appeals. I'll be hearing your case tonight.
Okay.
Okay. It's also being recorded.
Okay.
All right. As well. So I just need to state a few things for the record here and make sure that we got it correct. Your appeal number is 299.
It is?
All right. The property you're appealing is located at 274 Birch Road.
Yes.
All right. You guys are the owner of this property?
Yes.
Okay. The town has appraised your property at $1,652,000 or $250,300.
Yes.
And you are requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $1,485,000.
Yes.
1.485 million.
Yes.
Okay. And that. All right. What I need you to do is to state your name for the record.
Stephanie Canulus?
Okay, Michael Penniless.
Okay. Thank you. Going to swear you in right now. If you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, good deal. There should be a piece of paper right there. If you could just put your name on it and sign it and put your appeal number of 299 at the top, that would be great. Okay. So now's your time to explain why you feel that the current value should be $1.485 million.
I think there's a couple of errors on the town scorecard.
Okay.
To begin with. The third floor square footage of our home is significantly overstated on the town scorecard. We have 2 appraisals that were included in the package that both state that the square footage was overstated.
Okay.
And then we went through and calculated the square footage, which is the Excel spreadsheet. We went based on the outside dimensions of the home that we have from our builder. We went through and determined the square footage floor by floor.
Okay.
The 2 appraisers were estimating our third floor square footage to be, our overall square footage to be in the range of 3281 and 3269. We calculated 3330, and the town scorecard has it at 3663.
Okay, so you calculated it, what was it, 3230?
3330.
Or 3330, okay.
And just for your information, it's on this. I gave that sheet.
Okay, gotcha.
And so from there, we picked a couple of comparable homes on our street. So our home was built before Hurricane Sandy.
Okay.
It goes back to 2011. So the style of the home is a little bit different than the houses that they're building now. It's not fully lifted like some of the homes. So it has a very small garage. It's, they call it a 2-car garage. I'm not convinced we could get 2 cars in there even if we tried. It's something like 360 square feet.
Okay.
But even though we have a small garage, it eats into our square footage. So our first floor square footage is quite small. So some of the homes that they're building now, which are fully lifted, have 3-car garages underneath. They have full first floors. And so the homes are very different. So we pulled a couple of comparable homes on our street that were built around the same time, some of them by the same builder. And we pulled comps to figure out their price per square foot, which we included in that sheet, which was much lower than ours. So if you adjust for our incorrect square footage and multiply it by the price per square foot to get based on those comparables and based on our price per square foot, we come up with a value that's closer to between 1.38 and 1.485.
Okay. And these, so you've got the best comparables of 69 Birch, 81 Birch, and 171 Birch, correct?
Yeah, so
And were those recently sold?
the only one that was recently sold was 81 Birch. In June of 19, it was sold for 1.4. So we chose those because, again, they're about the same age. Some of them were built by the same builder, and they're very similar in style in the sense that they're not fully lifted, so they have garages that eat into their square footage.
Okay.
And then, again, on this sheet, they are a little bit different. So, 2 of them or 3 of them have larger garages, or 3 of them have a larger lot, so they are a little bit different than ours, but they're at least similar in style. Because I think some of the more recent sales in the neighborhood are newer homes that are fully listed, and the price per square foot is much higher, but that's because they're just different style and they have full first floor square footage.
Okay, so the one appraisal that you have here was as of 10/1/2020, correct?
We had someone do one as of 10/1/2020, and we had one done as of 3/13/20 for a refinance.
Okay,
So they both came out about the same.
as far as the square footage goes.
Both the square footage and the price.
Okay. And then, so then,
On the square footage, do you want to talk about the third floor?
Yeah, so I did have a question. So doing research after I submitted the paperwork, our third floor ceiling height at a maximum is 6 feet 10 inches.
okay.
Yeah, so how they calculate the square footage in your home is a question that you need to ask the assessor's office, because I tried to ask that question once about my own property, and he not overwhelmed me with the data, but they depends upon the roof line, and they depends upon a couple of other things. So it doesn't mean that they don't have it wrong, but how they calculate attic space or third floor space is not typical the way they do it for the other floors, if that question makes sense.
So this is unfinished square footage. So can they just assume it's finished for purposes of evaluation?
That'd be a question for them.
Yeah. Because so there's this there's unfinished square footage, and because the ceiling height is so low, there's 2 feet of HVAC around the entire third floor that eats into the square footage. So I mean, they can put a calculation on it, but it doesn't make it reality.
Right. And how they do that, I don't know. But there's a gentleman who's assigned to the base.
Yeah.
People have called him before. He would go out, he'll look at your floor plan, and he's like that. He's like, oh yeah, you've got dormer here, you've got this there, so I use this number to come up with that. And, that, we wouldn't have time,
Understood.
With 650 to 650 of them this year, he knows what you guys, but the assessor's office, does their job to make sure that those figure numbers may be wrong.
Yeah.
But, they can at least explain it to you and review your card with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so if we were to leave here, we could call there, call the assessor's office and have someone come out and go over it.
Yes, or they can even go over the card on the phone with you. They can at least explain to you how they did the calculations.
Okay.
You could say, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I have this, I have that.
But I would definitely, because since you're saying that you're basically 300 square foot over, right?
Yeah.
On that is to call the assessor's office and ask them about that.
Okay.
Because they would probably, I don't know if they would come out or not.
Sometimes they come out.
Yeah.
It depends.
I mean, we can tell how they,
Yeah.
It's
Got
80%. They just took the outside perimeter.
They took the outside.
Right, you can tell them why, ask them why I did that.
Yeah.
And if it's really not the case, sometimes they'll just take pictures, sometimes they'll just take a look.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
All right, anything else you want us to consider?
No, I think that's basically it. I mean, I think our greatest concern is the way it was calculated. It's exactly 20% increase from our 15 assessment. I mean, it's just almost to the penny. And it doesn't take into account that the house was built before Sandy. It's a different style house. So I don't think every house in the beach area has increased in value at the same rate. Certainly the newer homes,
they're just built differently, and they're much more attractive first floor layout than our house. I mean, I like our house a lot, but it's not built like some of the houses that we
And it
built
also
today.
doesn't have, you know, the fully raised. The other houses have like full outdoor living space under the house. I mean, that.
Are you considered, the town consider you FEMA compliant on your field card?
We are, I mean, I know we're.
But
We are,
if you're FEMA compliant, then yeah.
I'm not sure that we're at like 11 something.
Yeah, we're at the, like.
Yeah, there's a
We're
code
not
that they
at the
put on,
most
so that'd be another question for the assessor's office. You could say, you know, did you consider us FEMA compliant, yes or no? Where's that on my property card? And, you know.
Doesn't look like they are indicated on the property card
As
here
FEMA
as
compliant.
compliant.
Okay, so I guess the town does not have you as that.
Yeah.
If they did, that might increase your value, you know, that
Yeah,
might
'cause I
increase
think
your appraised value.
We're at like
as well.
11.8 or something.
Okay.
We're like just under the technically
So
FEMA
that,
compliant.
yeah, that may actually help, you know, that may help you a little bit, because I think they did add value for FEMA compliance dock. There were some other things they put in. And the beach market's been very strong, you know, and the beach was kind of undervalued in 15, so, you know, from what we saw, we didn't see a lot of appeals in 16, 17, 18 from the beach.
And our appeal really is more based on the current valuations of other similar houses in the area, right? And so ours is just now appraised more like the higher end homes in the neighborhood.
Right,
the
but you
ones
have
that
to,
are-
you have to appraisals done, right?
We did.
One out of 10 one. Yeah, so an expert looked at the value of your home compared to the market. So, yeah, and I assume you submitted something that you're, you know, whatever, something you wanted to show.
Yeah, no, they've got a full layout
so
here.
you're
Appraisal
very
pictures,
helpful, that's very
everything,
helpful.
so. Yeah. Okay, so here's the next steps, okay? I'll take this to the rest of my members, the majority of the board. We'll deliberate it. We'll come with an outcome, okay? We'll come up with an outcome. If we deny your appeal, you have the right to come back in a year to appeal again. If we do make an adjustment, you won't be able to appeal to the BAA until the next reassessment. Regardless of the outcome, if you don't agree with it, you still have the option to take it to court. We'll let you know 7 days within writing of what the outcome is after we deliberate and make a decision.
Okay.
And on that letter that we send out to you will be information if you do want to appeal it to court.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you.
And
Yeah, I'll
leave
get
it
the
up.
signature from you,
All
yeah.
right, thank you.
Are we out of sheets over there? All right, we get more. That was 650, I guess I couldn't bring myself to make 250 copies.
How many days do you have?
We're supposed to finish it all in March, but I don't know if we will, actually, physically or mentally, I think mentally,
Gotcha. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
How are you doing? Are you getting enough flow?
I think so.
It's hard, it's tough.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, and some will present in ways that are easier for you to evaluate than others,
Yeah,
and it's just all over.
it's
The
interesting.
hardest part is keeping them to 10 minutes, because, you know, it's hard. Well, it's their home, and it's a
No.
lot of money, and,
Potentially.
you know.
So on that one, just to let you know, to get comparables, I think there's a.
Hey,
What's up?
I'm done a little early, so I'm done with Denardo, so I can do, Stone Peters. I heard that he's a little behind. He's got Bright Lane, not part of the thing. Are you done for the night? No, my next one is until 7:45. Oh, okay. Normally, we've been keeping them with the same hearing officer. Okay. So I'm just offering if you had time. No, thank you. But if you want to stick your head in and see how he's doing, so sometimes when the camera answers quiet, sometimes the conversations last quite as long because they both talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, where did you started? I think it's
Hi. Can I come in? I thought I was back.
Come on in and have a seat.
Oh, thank you. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
All right. Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
I have a copy of some of it, and I'm not,
Okay.
so. That's just like the stuff that you wanted, and then the last page is really like something to go off of as I discuss it.
Okay. All right. So I'm John Spolier.
Yep.
I'm one of the 9 members of the BAA. I'll be hearing your case.
Okay.
Today or your appeal.
Yep.
It's also being recorded.
Sure.
Okay, I'm here. I just need to go over a few details for the record. All right. Your appeal number is 405. Correct?
Sure.
Okay. The property you're appealing is 81 Fox Street.
Yep.
Okay. The owner of the property is?
Walter and Holly.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. The town has your property appraised at $1,633,500.
Yep.
Okay, and you're requesting that it gets reduced down to $1,520. Correct?
500. Yeah. 20,000 or 20?
520,000.
I'll give you 20 grand.
Okay, all right. Okay, so, and you confirm you are the owner of it? All right, good deal. All right, for the record, can you please state your name?
Walter Schicko.
Okay. All right, and I need to swear you in.
Sure.
So if you could raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You got it.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
There's a piece of paper there to your left, if you could grab that.
Yep.
Print, sign your name, and put the appeal number of 405.
For March 2nd.
Yep. Okay. So based on the information, yep, you can just leave it there. All right, that you have here, can you state to me why you feel that you're been over-assessed, basically?
Sure. So I totally agree, like, with the fact that everything went up, and I get all that. The issue that I have is when you even look at, if you look at my street in town, so I'm going to do three things. Just go over my street.
Okay.
Go over my, and I refinanced this year, so I even have like a, whatever.
Do you have an appraisal? Is that there?
Yep.
Would you like to submit that to the?
Yeah, no, I'm going to give you everything.
Okay, please do.
I'm going to give you everything.
All
so
right.
I refinanced, I mean, and it was one of those, you know, they couldn't come into the house and all that, so the appraisal, that's not the whole thing, that's basically the first 7 pages, which gives you probably everything you really want.
Okay.
I'll get you more if you wanted it, but it was like 30-something pages. And they assessed it at $1.3 million, which I was like, you know, whatever. It's the pandemic and it's a little low, and so I feel like, you know, just even working off of that and meeting like even in between at like 1.5, an assessment of like 1.6 and change is, for my street, is high. Like my street's a flipped street, starting to flip quite a bit.
Okay.
And when you look at what the others in the area have, is significantly different. I pay more taxes than houses that have sold in the last 9 months that are significantly higher, around 1.7, like more valued streets like Roland, Penfield, Birch, and these are them.
Okay.
So just in the last 9 months, those 9 months to a year, which is when you look at places like that, that's my street. So what you're looking at here is my street.
Yeah.
What you're looking at in your hand is the area.
Okay, and let me just see here.
When you start to look at houses that are of somewhat comparable size, but the taxes and what they're assessed at, and there's kind of like a variation of it. You've got houses that, like on Penfield, they're like 362 that are paying $28,000.
Okay, yep.
They were assessed around, like, where would I have it? They're being assessed at 1.3 and change, but sold for 1.7. I couldn't get $1.7 million from a house.
Okay.
I could get 1.55, 1.56, you know, so I feel like I'm okay with the fact that it went up, but at the same time, it went up way over what it should have, and now I pay taxes for like in the significant range of like even Old Orchard beaches and Old Park Beach or whatever it is, like right in the beach area in Sherman.
Okay.
And as you start to like look through some of the pages, you can see that. And even when you look back at just my street, my neighbor went down, and they were built in 2013. If they're going to raise the taxes in the beach, nobody should have gone down. My neighbor's 63.5.
Okay.
So that assessment went down. Another house right down, a couple houses down, 137. They just went up 24,000 in assessment difference. Yet mine, for some reason, went up 212,000. Which just, for me, it's just all over the, like, my point is it's all over the map.
Okay.
And when I look at it there, like, I will agree that the valuation went up. But when you look at what happened to others just on my street, it's not there. And my house is now also assessed the same as the largest house on the street, which is like 68 Fox Street.
Okay.
That's now, which has an elevator in it, and it's almost 4,000 square feet.
And 68 was in 68 Fox.
2020, 68 Fox Street, actually, so that house, which is brand new,
Yeah.
with 3,800 square feet, is assessed at $1.4 million.
Okay.
And I'm paying more than them, and they're a newer house that's larger.
And did 68 Fox Street sell recently?
It sold this summer
Okay.
for $1.5 million. And everything that you have, so those all sold this, 68 stock sold this summer. Yeah, on 8/31. So at the height of everything. And yes, my value is a little bit above theirs, but not $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I came in at 1.252.
Okay.
And then just for like the most comparable house on the street is 121 Fox Street, about the same size, built around the same time, and they're $120,000 appraised less than me. On 121. That's probably the most comparable house on the street. Like size, time, like 2015, right? Like same thing. And that's where I'm like, I'm at that level on the street. And in comparison to other houses on my street. Even like the other one that I just pointed out, 137 Fox Street, so in comparison, so 137 Fox Street, it's 2,800 square feet, and it's assessed at 1.2. If you look at 160 Edward in your
Yep.
So what that shows you is the value of a Fox Street house compared to somewhere that's one extra block off the beach, and it's sold in July. So closer to the beach, same size, same pretty much everything, and you can see the valuation difference between Fox Street and another street in the beach. And that was my point on that side.
Okay, so 160 Edward Street, if I heard you correctly, you feel is the same size?
That's the same size and value as same size.
Yep.
Same size, and in comparison for a house like 137 on my street. And what I'm trying to show is the comparison and difference of value 3 streets over.
Okay.
Just comparison of like houses in the area and what they sold for.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I guess that's really what I'm like. I'm sure you can understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah. So you have the comps here of 160 Edward, 362 Penfield, 201 Penfield.
And those are higher value streets that pull a higher price.
Yep.
And
these are, but all your comps have been sold within 2000 or 2020.
Within 2020.
Okay.
And those houses are paying less taxes than me.
Okay. Or you mean
Their assessed income value is calculated into having less taxes, yet the price of what they sold for is much higher than what I would get on Fox Street. Because the house 68 only sold for 1.5, and that's 3,800.
Okay, so the comps are higher than what?
Higher than like the value. It's kind of like basically what I wrote on the appeal.
Yeah.
It says I'm overpaying for the value of my house. That's the meat and potatoes. Because at the price that you have me at, I sell for 175. I'm not going to get that. I will get 152. I can get that. That's comparable and makes sense. Because even when I did that, what is that called, vision appraisal,
Yeah.
I don't think the guy looked at anything I had, and then he just dropped me by $10,000. Like, it didn't work.
Okay, so you did go to.
Yeah, like in the vision appraisal, so your third and fourth piece of paper in that little packet shows a variation of like $10,000.
Okay.
Nothing happened. I don't even think he listened to me. Like, I mean, he's heard 1,000 people, and I was probably at the tail end, so I get it.
Okay, that's 50,000.
It didn't move.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, like 17.
It's like, it just, you know, it took off a shingle.
Okay.
I think that's all I really got.
Okay. All right. So here's the next step.
You want all these?
If you want to submit it, we'll be more than happy to have it. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay. So
You can put it all in here if it's easier.
no, that's okay. I got it here because it's going to be scanned anyway since it's a big deal.
Sure.
So the next steps is that I will take this to the board and we will deliberate about it. We will come up with either we'll deny it. If we do deny it, you can come back the following year to the BAA and appeal again. If we do make any type of reduction, you're not able to appeal to the BAA until the next revaluation period. Okay, so in another 5 years.
So if you deny it a year, if you don't do anything.
If we deny it a year, if we do something, it's 5 years. Okay. Regardless of the outcome, if you disagree with it, you can go to court with it. Within 7 days of our decision, you'll receive written notification, and in there it will tell you if you want to appeal to court how to do it. Okay? And we just make sure, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right.
All right,
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too. Leave it open or?
You can leave it open, yep.
Have a good night.
Your 7:15 is a phone call.
Oh, it is? Okay,
Yeah,
well, I gotta
I
get
know.
my 7, don't I?
Oh, you don't have it, do you have a 7?
I don't know, do
She
I?
just told me I don't think you have a 7.
Okay.
So you had the ones that were me, right there.
Yeah,
And now you're over here.
yes I am.
I told him to. Yeah, he should use PA because that's too confusing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and it's going to be, the sheet's going to be bigger tomorrow night. It's going to have a lot more space. Yeah.
You
already did.
already sent it up. Did you set it up so nicely?
I did the script at like midnight last night. Almost because that was one of the things I knew how to do, you know, and all the rest of this we didn't know how to figure out. So the mail merge we just did this afternoon. I was like, you don't need to write information that we already have. You know, all the other forms are all boilerplate. For years he's been filling out the same information on 6 and 17. You need to do your job. You need to help me. I thought I gave myself a full slate tonight, so I'm actually glad that I didn't. So I
Okay. All right.
see what we need to modify for tomorrow or keep people.
Yeah, all the rescheduling.
Yeah, this morning was, oh, that is the worst. And Ross and I are not sharing the same spreadsheet, so he's rescheduling and not telling me, so I can't tell you that, well, you know, he's, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, you can't use your spreadsheet anymore. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Just let you know, your 7:30 is here, but your 7:15 is a phone call.
Yep, I was just about ready to call the 7:15.
All right, so when you're done, they're sitting down there, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, Karen, so the other thing is, there's a form that comes in when they want a phone hearing.
Yes,
But how do we know what number to call?
it's on there.
On the
sheet.
very small sheet. So Ross,
What sheet is it?
This one?
No, the phone-in sheet. That's not, somebody devised it.
yeah, but it didn't get printed and put in the folder. I asked Ross, because he said not everybody uses it.
Oh,
I know.
well, they can do it through the internet, so I don't know what that looked like. So if they did it through the internet,
Yeah.
do you want me to ask, who is this?
Well, we can try the
This
number
is
on the sheet.
Silva,
All right, call the number on the appeal form, because we make sure that's the number they want to be reached at.
right here.
So I would try that, and if they don't answer, then we'll,
Okay.
Peter's 7:30 is here. The 7:15 did not show up yet, but if he does, do you want me to select it?
Yeah, I did check for Alexis at 7:30. It doesn't mean she doesn't want to call. Okay.
Hello, is this Mr. Silva?
Yes, hi, it's Rick Silva, yes.
Rick Silva, hi, this is John Spolier from the BAA, Fairfield.
Hi, John, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, good. So I am one of the 9 members of the BAA board here, and I'll be hearing your appeal tonight. Your appeal is also being recorded. All right, I just need to ask you a few things, make sure I got all the right information here. So your appeal number is your appeal number is 566?
Correct.
Okay. The property you're appealing is located at 245 Roland Road?
Yes,
Okay. The owner of the property is Ricardo and Amelia Silva?
correct.
Okay, the town has appraised your value at $1,602,600.
Yes,
Okay, and you're requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $1,523,700, correct?
correct.
Okay. For the record, can you just confirm that you are the owner of the field?
Yes, I am the owner of my wife of the field.
Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to need to swear you in real quick. If you could raise your right hand, not that I can see it, but
That's right.
okay. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. All right.
Sorry about the other phone.
That's okay. All right. Okay, so you go ahead and tell me about your appeal and why you feel that it should be knocked down to $1.5 million.
All right, so I focused looking at houses in the beach area where I am obviously, and I looked at, there's a lot of different ways of looking at it, but I focused on houses that are pretty much the same size. We have 3,753 square feet of living space, so I looked at houses between like 3,600 and 3,800.
Okay.
And I tried to pick up ones that were sold in the last year and a half, but there were a couple that are older. sales. And what I noticed is, and I put down on my piece of information, that for most of them, the price per square footage ranged between around $390 to $400. We went from $374 to $406. So let's say around the $400 per square foot. Our house was valued at $427 per square foot. I noticed for the ones that had not been renovated since the last assessment, that they went up between 2 and 6%. The ones that were renovated went up by quite a bit more, or that had been not renovated since it was built in 2011, went up by 9% instead of the 2 to 6% range. The first house on the list that I listed, 317 Edward.
Yep.
Although it was sold in 2011. I thought it was a good comp because it's just a little bigger in size. It does have one less bathroom, but same number of bedrooms otherwise. And so 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, or is it 5, 4.5? And it was at $406 a square foot. The house was built in 2012. Ours was built in 2011. It is also one block from the beach. We're 3 blocks away. So that's what I used. I used that 406, which is kind of in the upper range of the house comps I gave, to get to the 152,700, which would be a 3.8% increase, roughly halfway between the 2 to 6% of the one that have not been renovated. There were some that 4 of the ones I listed were sold in the past 3.5. The 115 Loudly Boulevard, 201 Penfield, 421 Penfield, and 101 Rhoda, and they were in that $390 to $400 per square foot pricing.
Okay.
So the valuation I chose was at $406 per square foot. Like I said, comparable to the Edward, which is the comparable age, comparable size, is what I used for my comp.
Okay.
Okay. So my comp was based on price per square footage, increase versus last time, comparable size houses in the beach area.
Okay. Just making some notes here.
Yeah, I think you should hopefully, after I did all the whole spiel you had, that piece of paper I made with the comps.
Yeah.
I hope you have it, or you probably didn't understand half what I said.
Nope, I got it.
Okay. If I went too fast, I can repeat any of it.
No, that's okay. So basically your whole point is that it's based on square footage, price per square foot. You mentioned that there was 2 to 6% increase on those that were not renovated, correct?
Correct, and my assessment came in at 9% increase.
Okay.
So I proposed a 3.8% increase, which is half of 2.6, and I used a 406 per square foot, which is the kind of upper range of the comps I gave, but the house that I found to be most comparable was the first one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else I should know about?
No, we haven't changed the house since it was built in 2011, so it's not been changed at all since the 2015 assessment.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So just to let you know what the next steps will be that we have here. So I will take this and we'll deliberate it in front of the majority of the board. Within 7 days of after we make a decision, you'll receive a written notice of what the decision is. If we deny your appeal, you can come back to the Board of Assessment Appeals the next year. If we do provide a change in value, we will then, or you will not be able to come back to the Board of Assessment Appeals until the next revaluation in 5 years. Either way, whatever the outcome is, you will have the right to appeal any decision in court. And that information will be included with your outcome, or with the outcome that we mail to you. in 7 days after we make the decision. We are hoping to get through all the decisions by the end of March. So April 7th or so would be the latest you would hear back on it.
Got it.
Okay?
Anything else that I missed that I should provide you? Or?
No.
I've been through this process before, so I'm not really familiar with what it entails.
No, I mean, it's whatever you want to provide. You didn't happen to refinance or anything like that in the last year?
No, but yeah, a lot of appraisals. I actually paid off my mortgage, luckily enough.
Okay, good for you. So.
As a retiree, that's a good thing.
Yes, it is. So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Rick. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, John. Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
Bye now.
Okay. Am I still recording?
You should be, unless you touch this phone
Okay.
or you click it over there off. I don't even know if you close the browser if it closes it down. I'm not 100%.
But I am recording still. Okay.
Yeah. Now there's a green. They said the green light. I thought they meant the green light on the handset, but maybe it's the green light on the recording. See how the two green buttons?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is green?
Actually, both of these are green.
Okay, these are not green.
Yeah, that's because you just closed. All this is a mic. This is just a speaker phone.
Oh, okay.
So this phone is picking up his voice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know. We tried to dumb it down. They had a second phone over here for the appellant, but it was acting as a speaker and giving some feedback.
Okay.
We took it way down from the two phones. And this one will show up as Town of Fairfield on their caller ID.
Okay.
So,
That we're legit.
yeah, and not using your personal cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Thank you. Now if I can just remember all this.
So, yeah, sometimes I put my notes on a pad and then I go back after, at the end of the night, I'll just sit or I'll take 5 minutes after each one and
Yep.
just kind of digest a little bit. We do have one signed in over here.
Okay.
But that's all right. Put it on the floor, deal with it later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good with that. That's all these things are. Okay. That goes down there. My 7:15.
I think 7:15 was a phone call, right?
Or 7:15, yeah, 7:30. I might actually be on time here. See, you know how to run this with the scheduling.
Well, usually, often more people will cancel, and we expected more phone calls, so we tightened up the schedule the first week.
Yep.
But your brain is fresh, right? You're not.
Yeah.
You haven't heard 50 yet. By the time you hear 50,
They just all run.
yeah, that's why we thought this year it's better to hear them, deliberate on them while when you can still remember them.
Yeah.
And yeah, and all the backup will be online on the internet. We'll all help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're good.
Okay.
It's hard to consolidate what somebody tells you, into a concise note.
It's interesting how many people are facing it.
Square footage.
Is that common?
It depends if they're over, I don't want to make a generalization.
Yeah.
That's not accurate.
But I just.
It's hard because we're here in the beach area tonight. They were probably undervalued in 15 for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't hear that many of them. They
Yeah.
didn't come in. Retail buildings way over. They all came in.
Yeah.
So in the
now
beach area, they went up a ton. The market also went up a ton. They have high-end, their homes tend to be higher priced anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're looking at sales data or not, because you haven't seen a lot of comparable sales to not prove the price, right?
Well, and the way that worked out.
Yeah, and he said he spent a lot of time down there.
And you explained it all online.
Right. So, and at the end of the day, we're really looking at market value.
Yeah.
If the model was incorrect in how it calculated it, that's not our problem unless somebody was calculated, incorrectly, the market value is not right. The town didn't get it right.
Yeah.
If they didn't use a very nice process to do it,
Yeah. Yeah.
we vote, we can't, we can't answer that question. I can't answer that question.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell people, because it's very easy to look at square footage and stuff. You do that with new construction and market value. Now, I go.
Okay.
Peter, get a little organized. I'm going home to help Peter get a little organized. He's
All right.
got swamped. So
Yeah.
you're
Well,
fine.
he's got how many? to go through?
He had a lot of appraisals and he was late and his
Yeah.
people were late, so we're gonna have his.
Okay.
I said, close, get a little money.
All right. How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. All right. I'm John Spolier.
Hey, John.
One of the
Can I
9.
give you my paperwork?
Please do.
Awesome.
Thank you. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Great,
I'll be hearing your appeal tonight.
great,
We're also recording it here.
perfect.
Okay. All right, I just need to go through a few things
Okay,
to make sure that it's on the record, but also that it's correct.
perfect.
Okay, so your appeal number is 18.
Yes,
Okay. The property you're appealing is located at 200 Smith Street.
yes,
Okay, the owner of the property is Herbert Scott Jr., Kirkpatrick, and I don't have the other name on it.
that's Heather, my wife.
Heather, your wife, okay?
Yep, and that's me, I'm Herbert.
Okay, good. All right. The town has assessed your property at $1,534,000,
Yes,
and you're requesting the town reduce your appraised value to $1,281,400.
well, I think I basically didn't give a number last time.
Okay.
I just said that I didn't feel the value had increased 20%.
Okay.
That has been constant, that's probably why they got that, but
Okay.
in my further analysis for this, I do believe that the right appraised value is $1,380,000.
Okay.
So instead of a 20% increase, an 8% increase.
Okay.
And that's in my little
That's the
documentation.
implied value there?
My kind of rebuttal value I had there, 138.
Okay.
Like, you see that right there?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay. Great. I need to confirm you are the owner of the property.
I am. Do you need an ID?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay. You're the owner, and so now I just need to swear you in here. So if you want to raise your right hand, there you go. Okay. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Okay. So there's a piece of paper over there to the right. If you could just put your name, sign it, saying you are sworn in.
Okay.
And the appeal number is 18. Okay.
And it is the 2nd day of March.
It is.
And then just have you sign the bottom?
Yep, you'll sign the bottom.
There you are, sir.
Thank you very much. All right.
Okay. Should I give my points?
You
Is that-
got it.
All right.
It's your nickel.
All right.
No pun intended.
Nickel, there we go. Okay. Well, John, thank you for hearing me. So as I said, I purchased my home on April 17, 2015 on 200 Smith Street. We moved here from Massachusetts.
Okay.
And so it was my first house in Fairfield. It was a new construction home that was a spec home that I did have. When I purchased it, the builder was just about done, and I said, I really want to not add a lot of the features he was going to add when I purchased it.
Okay.
We purchased it for $1.38 million in April, and the town reevaluated. It was a much lower value before I bought it. They reevaluated at $1,381,400 in October. So 5 months later, they had a value, and the market, I do believe, did go down during that time in my analysis. So I agreed with that valuation on October 15th. So and so now I got the latest that would have me increasing the value by 20%. And I do believe the value has gone up from 1.28, but not 20%. I believe it's only gone up 8%, and I have a couple data points to support that argument. The first is in 2019, 2 homes were put up, 180 Smith Street and 185 Smith Street. Okay, both of those homes, one is right next to me on my left, looking at the house on my right side. And I have the houses as they're right there, that 185 and 180 Smith Street.
Okay.
They were both built in 2019 and sold in 2019.
Okay.
One at $1.41 million and the other at $1.39. One slightly more square footage and one slightly less square footage than my house. And both of them were new and built with higher quality. They both had custom elements to them because I actually saw them before they were purchased. And then now that I don't believe in the total value of a Zillow estimate, but I do think it's a good comparison purposes. And right now, both of those homes are valued 11% and 10% higher than my home today. And that's in the supporting backup material. If you see the line, February 2021 Zillow estimate. And so given that that kind of comparability, it would say in 2019, which when those houses were purchased, that would have a value of my house at $1.25 million in both of those examples.
And this is based on square footage?
Based on square footage in the Zillow estimate.
Okay. And
I also assume that was 2019, the end of 2019 when they were purchased. So I also thought that there was actually a market growth in 2020. In my assessment, the market grew probably around 10%, which would put me at $1.38 million. The other analysis, which is also probably even more relevant, is the second point, which is a recent sale on 9/24/2020 on a parallel street that's on a cul-de-sac in another new construction that was built in 2020. Okay, so it's right on my neighboring street in a cul-de-sac. The actual people who bought the home actually looked at my home to actually determine if they were going to be using that builder. They actually said that they would go in with another builder because they wanted to go to a higher quality home. So this is a higher quality home built. And it slightly less square footage, 3210, but it sold for $1,350 on 9/24/20. Okay, and if you look at even the Zillow estimate today, it actually has the house basically slightly more than mine, and I think that makes sense because I do have slightly more square footage than that house, but it is also newer and higher quality. So that would put me at an applied value of $1.35 million. So my kind of view is based on the market comps is my house is worth anywhere between 1.35 and 1.38. So I'm willing to, I definitely agree that the value has gone up since October, but not at 20% at the 8%. So, and I was going to go with my high estimate of 1.38 versus a 1.35. Is that clear in the document there?
Yep, I believe so. So the first one here, okay, you talk about the, in point 1, you talk about the Smith, 180 and 185, about how they were built new homes with higher quality, right, finishes in it, and you go through there about the purchase price with each of those, the square footage of each. You have the Zillow estimates.
Yep.
Okay. And then the difference between what yours is.
Yeah, so I took an applied, based on that difference, I took an applied value of my home based on theirs, based on that, in 2019, but then I applied a growth rate because they bought theirs in 2019, so the story doesn't end there. I wanted to say that, hey, it's probably 10% higher than 2019 value because the market, and I don't know what your data is in terms of what we think the market went up in the beach area this year. Everything I looked at said, maximum 10%, so that's why I put that 10% value in to raise from 125 to 1.38. You see that in the bottom there? And then the second point is really the house that actually sold right near us in 2020.
Okay, and that one sold 924.20 for 1.35 million, and you said with that one it had higher quality.
Yes.
For that.
I think it's on a cul-de-sac, and it's newer, but mine has about 260 more square feet, or no, 290.
But less square feet.
It has, less square feet, but I think that balances with the newer, higher quality construction and the cul-de-sac.
Okay. And you've got all your comps here are 4 bedrooms.
Yep.
Either 4 baths or 3.5 baths.
Yep.
Plus or minus some square footage. You're at 3,500?
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So I put the supporting stuff off of Zillow in that second page.
Yep. That's what I'm going up here.
And then my calculations are on the first.
Yep.
Just kind of trying to do trying to make it a fair market assessment.
Okay, so the 180 sold on February 15th of 19.
Yep.
And 185 sold on December 23rd of 19 as well.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And that's why I wanted to create, because they were 2019, I wanted to create a kind of implied value that year and gross it up based on market growth.
Okay.
And I do think the quality of the home does matter in my assessment. And I think the Zillow estimate, which is I know not a perfect estimate, but I think it's good for comparison purposes of comparing property. And I think they're actually using probably the older age of the home too.
Okay.
I don't know how their calculation works, but
I don't either. I know that they presented to us that what they use has been used throughout the country and the world, and it's more of a standardized assessment.
Yeah. And I've never used it to do a flat value, but I've seen it as a good comparison tool, just because it's using apples to apples.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, let me just double check something here.
Right.
Okay, you are FEMA compliant.
Yes.
And again. Okay. And it was built in 2014, as you said, right?
Yeah, it was finished in 15, but yeah.
It was finished but built. Okay.
Yeah. But I did, I'm not sure this is relevant, but I did tell the builder to stop kind of doing any touches. We didn't do any of the built-ins or anything, because I was moving to a new area. I just didn't want to spend any more money.
Yep.
I was kind of buying from afar.
Okay. And, okay, we didn't have a vision. We didn't do a informal hearing. Okay.
No, I didn't know I was able to do that.
Okay.
The first thing I had heard, I would have loved an informal hearing, but I have not talked to anyone. I just got obviously the decision.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I appreciate, so what are the next steps?
Okay, yes, that is a mighty good question. I was about ready to get to that. Okay, so I will take this to the board.
Okay.
The majority of the board. We will deliberate it and come to a decision. If we decline the appeal, you'll be able to come back in a year to the BAA and reappeal.
Okay.
If we do make any type of change, you won't be able to appeal to the BAA until the next revaluation.
Okay, so if you do make it, so if you don't make a change and say, you know what, I don't buy your argument, then I have a year, and then if you make a change, but any change,
you have to wait until the next
okay, whether or not it's the change that okay.
Correct.
Yep.
It isn't an all or nothing type of thing. We could give you partial, we could give you full.
Okay.
And then the other thing about that is that regardless of the outcome, you have the right to appeal to a court.
Okay.
If you disagree with the outcome. When we deliberate and make our decision, we'll notify you within 7 days of that decision outcome. And
via
mail.
Okay.
Okay. And then you'll be able to, if you do want to appeal, there'll be information in there.
Okay.
You'll appeal it after that.
Do you guys take in building quality into the factor of the valuation?
I don't know.
Okay.
You have to ask Ross Murray or somebody in the assessor's office.
Okay.
If they do have that. I can tell you that on your field card, okay, there is a depreciation percentage, but I think that's just the overall building quality.
But I really, I think a big thing for me in this kind of is that the comparisons I'm making, I know that there's square footage in it, but there's definitely a building quality argument. I put it in there, but I just wanted to rephrase it again.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, John. Hopefully that was
all right.
I really appreciate the time.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Have a good evening.
You too. Good luck. How long are you here for?
Oh, all month.
Oh, my goodness. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, Alexis is ready too.
Right there. How you doing? Good. Yeah.
1 second, I'm just gonna grab. If it gets cold in here too, that heater is, your own fan over there.
Okay.
It's a little bit loud, and since we're still here, I'm gonna have our laptop.
It's okay.
Here it is urgent.
All right. I'm John Spolier. I'm one of the 9 members of the BAA of the Assessment Appeals, so I'll be hearing your case tonight. So this is also being recorded, just to let you know, for posterity purposes. I need you to state a few things for the record, just to make sure we've got the right information here.
Sure.
Okay, so your appeal number is 570.
Okay.
Okay. The property address that we're appealing tonight is 679 Roland Avenue?
Yes.
Or Roland, not Avenue. Okay. The owner of the property is Frederick and Alyssa Israel?
Yes.
Okay. The town has appraised your property at $1,897,400, and you're requesting the town to reduce your appraised value to $1,650,000. Right?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. And I just need you'll confirm that you're the owner?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And then with that, I just need to swear you in. So if you raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, good deal. There is a piece of paper there. If you could just grab one of those, sign it, and print your name saying that you have been sworn in. And, the appeal up at the top, number 557. Yep, you got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so tell me about the appeal on the property.
Okay. 679 Roland Road. Probably been there for 20 years. We built the house. We rebuilt the house after Sandy. What was it, 2014?
Okay.
And the reason for this appeal is, looking at the new assessment, given the previous assessment and the sale price of properties around the neighborhood, it seems really off.
Okay.
Compared to what we see there. One of the things I supplied is some reference material where I am showing different properties. I'm assuming you have the.
Yep. So I have the information that you provided as far as sales comparison, furthermore independent valuations by Zillow and Home. Based on your research, you believe that the faulty assumption made by municipal valuation services, etc. Okay, and I have your field card here. And I fit as well. Okay. And there's the Zillow and Home.
Yep. Do you have these spreadsheets?
Those spreadsheets. Let me see here. I have the appraisal report. More appraisal report. Yes, I do have.
You do have. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Basically, I was trying to. So there is a detailed table, and I'm not going to go through the numbers and all that stuff. It's there. I'm trying to show that what information we collected. And the highlight of what I'm saying is that, and I know Zillow and Zoma are not are not your formal way of assessing property, but it's a good reference. And what I've noticed that in general, I've looked at homes that were sold in the area, and what I've noticed, and I have records to show that, is there's a graph that shows the sale price that is projected by Zillow and Zone versus the actual sale size, and it's typically within 10%. Okay, and this is shown in this.
Yes. Okay.
Here, it is also summarized in this table here. I'm showing the sale price that I gathered. And this is before, a house was sold. Like, I would always go back and take a look at what it projected versus what it is. In general, that's what it projected. And when I look at what they projecting for our house, it is within the $1.65 million.
That Zillow and Zone is.
That's right. So that's one data point.
Okay.
The second part is looking at actual sales data and how it compares to our house and properties. And in this table here, I picked up, so a few things, I apologize. So in this drawing here, there are numbers.
Yep.
These numbers correlate with what's in the detailed table.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So I'm basically trying to show, where we're located with respect to all the comps, how far we are from the beach. Now, I'm not going to argue the method that was used to evaluate the land property. I think this is still a big issue, but it should be consistent. Whatever the method is, it should be consistent.
Okay.
And what I'm noticing that it's not really consistent.
So in the table that you put there, or that you have, the spreadsheet.
This one?
There, yep.
Yep.
Okay, so you have the dates that were sold and the sold price.
That's right.
What MVS put in, and after the first appeal.
Yep.
And did you go to MVS and do an informal?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So
How did
during that
turn out?
process, they drop it down.
Okay.
They drop it, about couple hundred, I think. Yeah. The difference was, So if you look at under, the appraisal difference of the appraisal, you will see the difference. So they did drop it 200,000.
Okay.
What we do, and then if you look at the homes in that table, you will notice that most of them are, around 30,000, 40,000 difference, which makes sense. That seems to be, reasonable. Although this is sort of a blank, drop in all these comps. But there are a few homes on I-9 neighborhood that are really, really show a significant outlier. There's significant outlier. They show a significant difference in price.
Mm-hmm.
And those homes, and those, really the table that so, this table here, provides few more like in-depth, like summary detail. Right? If I pick up, and it correlates like the index number that you see here. I apologize. The index number you see here correlates with the index numbers on the
map.
more detail on the map and on the detail comp. So, for example, there is. If you look at index number 12, it's a house that is comparable in size and property, land size. They're about, it's a slightly older, but has more bedroom, more bathroom, and just a few homes down the street. You can see that on the map. That's the, number 12. So, we are here at 0.
Okay.
Number 12 is just here, just like next to it.
Okay.
Right? So that house is appraised at $1.6 million.
Okay.
For example, that's about $300,000 difference. It is about, the difference is in that house is about 470 square feet larger than ours.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's slightly older than ours, but it's the same land, same area. It's a fancier house, more bedroom, more bathroom. So that's like one comparison, just like next to us. Another one, number two is 628 Roland Road. So this is just here, just across from us. Right? Again, 430 square feet larger, evaluated at $1.7 million. You go down this list, number 7, for example. Number 7 is this one here. Right? This one here. So,
on Edward?
On Edward, right.
Okay.
Much closer to the beach now. Like, for example, one of the things I heard, and I don't know how accurate that is, but they as far as evaluation, they sort of have this, like part of Edward is it's not like there's a parallel line to the beach. Mm-hmm. It seems like a little arbitrary the way they designated, how how the value properties.
The zoning or not,
yeah.
the grouping of houses?
The grouping of houses, yes, thank you.
Okay.
So if you look at number 7, for example, it's another example where it is much larger, it's like 1,000 square feet larger. It is evaluated at 1.85. It is also a newer house, so it has water view. So again, it's not clear how we end up being more expensive than all of these. And then what really puzzles me is that there are homes that are completely, if we're evaluated like $300,000 higher, and it started at $600,000, unfortunately. There are homes that are like $300,000 cheaper than the market value. So
you're saying that they're on the list here.
Yeah, so if you look at 10,
you're the, after the first appeal, they're more than what they're being asked for?
They are much, assessed at a much lower price than what they either was sold for, or Zillow or anything. So like this actual home that got sold for $2 million gets assessed at 1.6. It just makes no sense. So if you look, for example, at number 10, so number 10.
Okay. Number 10 is assessed after the first appeal at $1.6 million.
Right.
And you said, and it was sold at 1.5.
That's right. So.
And it was sold on 6/4 of 20.
Correct. Yes. So we're about like almost $300,000 difference between the two homes, and it's a newer home. It's a larger property, and the house itself is 200 square feet smaller than ours. It's smaller by 200 square feet, about 6%, but the valuation is about 30% lower. And that's like number 10, which is if you look at C, which is one of the outliers that show up on this table here. These 3 homes are a big outlier, a major outlier. So C, for example, is the 2013 home that sold on 2018 for 1.8, and it shows up after the first appeal about 1.5 million. So there's a major difference between the sale price and the actual evaluation. Again, for no obvious reason. It's not like it's miles away. We're talking about homes that are within, 1,000 feet or so, a block away. So C, for example, is a newer home. It's more bedrooms. It's only 150 square feet smaller, about 5%. But the valuation is about $300,000 lower than ours. It's just not clear why such a difference between ours and these homes. So there's a bunch of homes that seems to be undervalued significantly, and then there's a bunch of homes at the beginning of the spreadsheet. So there's homes that are significantly undervalued compared to ours, and then there are homes that are about the same as ours, again at a much lower valuation. So it's just not very clear.
You've got these number 1 through 5 are all Roland Avenues as well as 12, correct?
Yes.
That you have, and then you have a few more other Rolands there.
Around the vicinity.
Yeah, around the vicinity. Okay. Okay.
So I'm sorry.
Good. I was going to say, anything else?
Yeah. So in general, I've looked at, as I mentioned, Zone and Zillow. I believe it supports what I'm asking for. But I'm also looking at homes that are along the same line and their value is the same, either at the same rate or significantly lower. And that's, I guess, the second point.
So really what you see in Zone Zillow and what you see in the spreadsheet that you put together support your...
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
I think that's it. Is there anything else?
No. Not that I have anything. I mean, all the material you have there is what you submitted?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so here's what the next steps are, is I will take this to the board, okay, to the majority of the board. We'll deliberate about it and come to a decision. Once we come to a decision, within 7 days, you'll be notified via mail of the outcome. If we deny your appeal, you're able to come back next year to the BAA and appeal again.
Okay.
If we make any adjustment, you won't be able to reappeal until the next valuation in 5 years. Okay. Regardless of the outcome, you will have the ability or you have the right to appeal to a court, okay, if you disagree with the outcome. And within the written decision that you'll be sent will be information there about how to file in court if you wish to challenge it there.
Okay.
Okay. And that is, I believe, it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's it, right?
What's that?
That's it.
That's it. You're free to go.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, hopefully it's not a thing. All right. Have a seat there. All right. I am John Spolier. I'm one of the 9 members of the BAA committee, and I'll be the one hearing your appeal tonight. I'm going to, and it's also being recorded. The appeal is being recorded that we have here. So I just need to go over a few things to make sure that it's correct. here. So your appeal number is 119.
Where was that? Yes.
Okay. The property that you are appealing is 148 Fox Street.
Correct.
Okay. The owner of the property is Henry and Maria Busse. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's correct.
Okay. The town has assessed your property at $1,524,200,
Yes.
and you are requesting that the town reduce it to $1,158,643. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you are the owner of the property?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. With that, I just need to swear you in. So if you raise your right hand, and do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, giddy up. Okay, so tell me about the appeal here.
Okay. So you want me to leave these with you, or any evidence?
I do have your VGSI here. Is it more than that? And the realtor.com of, do you have other information?
I just have that. What I sent was, I think, 7 properties.
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess it's all the same. I went back and looked at some of the assessment cards. I mean, there's nothing that really varies.
Okay.
I
mean, if you want to submit it for a review, you're more than welcome to.
No, I guess you can, just go by those. I just have some comments to make on that. I mean, of those 7 properties, 6 of them had an average sales price. They were all sold between June 1st of maybe 2020 and 10/31 of 2020. So they were all recent sales. The average sales price on 6 of those was $1,155,250. So when I included the 7th, it was $1,158,643.
Okay.
The post-evaluation average, I went back and looked at all of those properties to see how they were reassessed after the sale. And the average reassessment came out to $1,023,283. So all of their average assessments actually went down by over $100,000. Mine actually went up by, it was almost $500,000.
So it went down, the comps went down from the sale price for the assessment?
Yes.
Okay. And yours went up?
Yes. Well, mine went up significantly, yes. So, I just based my average market value price of $1,158,643 based on, the average of those 7 properties. The only other thing I would say is, and again, of those 7, 6 of those actual reassessments went down from the sales price. When I purchased my property in 2016, I paid $1,410,000.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to say it, but I feel that I overpaid, but it was in September of 2016, and I wanted to get my son registered in school. We had put in offers on 3 previous properties that we were outbid on. So, I ended up, buying this one for $1,410,000.
Okay.
I think that, that price was high, but, I think under the circumstances, that was the reason that I paid. went back and did some research, I noticed that there were quite a few properties in the area that were actually, at that time in 2016, significantly less, but I didn't, I was satisfied with where the assessment was at that time. Recently, I mean, this is just an example too, on my street, there's a brand new house that just went up on 68 Fox Street.
Okay.
That house sold for $1,500,000 on August 31st.
Was that 1 million what?
$1,500,000 on August 31st. They have 600 more square feet than my house.
Okay.
And this house was recently reassessed for $1,397,000. So, again, this is another example of not only did they move into a brand new house that they recently paid $1.5 million, but then got reassessed literally 2 or 3 months later for $1,397,000. So based on all of that, I would just ask that, if you could please give some consideration to, I did, when I first got the notice that my house was being reassessed, I went on Zillow.com to see what they put as a market value for my house. And it was exactly the market value that the company reassessed my house for. So I was wondering, maybe because of COVID, rather than them, coming out and doing a field survey, if they were just using Zillow.
Okay.
I've gone on Zillow several times, and to no surprise, the market value changes quite frequently.
Yeah.
Both up and down. So I'm not sure that they were using Zillow as part of their effort to, assess my house. But I would like you to consider, based on the properties that I submitted, to reduce the average, but using the average cost to reduce the assessment on my house if at all possible.
Yep. And you have here these are all comparable, if I remember.
They're all comparable in square footage, and they are all comparable in land mass and value as well.
And they all were sold, yes, I can see, sold within the last year.
Yes.
5 days from when this was printed, 152 days, 105, 62. So they're all recent sales.
Yes.
That are sold.
Yes.
So, all right. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. So all I've got left for you is just to let you know what the next steps are.
Okay.
So I will take this to the board. The rest of the members of our board will have majority in deliberation. When we deliberate this, we'll come to an outcome. Okay, we'll either reduce, I doubt we would increase, but there's always that possibility, or we would deny the appeal. Okay, if we deny the appeal, you could come back to the Board of Assessment Appeals in a year, so next year, and reappeal. If we make any type of adjustment for it, then you are not able to reappeal to the Board of Appeals for another 5 years. Okay, so basically the next time that we do a reevaluation in the town here.
Understood.
You'll be notified within 7 days after the decision has been made. Regardless of what we decide, you do have the option to go and appeal it to a court if you want to. Okay, and there'll be information in your outcome notice of how to do that if that's.
And approximately when will the board meet?
So we will be meeting deliberating throughout the month of March. Okay, we are trying to get all 650 plus hearings in and deliberate in March.
Okay.
So.
If you can answer just that, maybe you could, maybe you can't answer, but I was just curious. So the grand list went up as a result of the reassessment, right?
Yep.
Does that mean that the mill rate might correspondingly go down as a result, or, you know, does it pretty much stay around the same area?
What I have witnessed in previous revaluations is usually when the grand list goes up, the mill rate goes down, but that's all, the mill rate is not set by us or anything like that. That's basically Board of Selectmen proposes the budget, it goes to the Board of Finance, they tweak it or whatever, they go back and forth, and then eventually it goes to your RTM representatives to be passed there.
Okay.
So really, we have nothing to do with the mill rate.
Yeah, I was just curious. It was just a curiosity question. So
yeah.
Okay.
So. Okay, great.
All right.
Thank
you
very
so much, Mr. Boyer. I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good evening.
You as well. Thank you.
The last guy is here when you're ready.
Okay, yep, I will be there in a minute.
Nice selling, I think.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Feel free to have a seat there. Tonight.
I am well. How are you?
Okay.
Pretty busy.
It's hopping around here. And it's only the first night.
But I'm told, I can't believe how much, I guess, business you all have.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm John Spolier. I'm one of the 9 members of the BAA. Okay. And I'll be hearing your appeal tonight. I just need, and we're also recording, by the way, just to let you know. I just need to go over a few things. For the record, your appeal number is 143, correct?
That is, yes,
Okay, the property in question is 251 South Benson Road.
that's correct.
Okay. The owner of the property is David and Virginia Russo.
Yes,
Okay. The town has appraised the property value of $1,451,600, and you're requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $1.25 million, correct?
yes. Would you say the first number again, please?
$1,451,600.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And I just need you to confirm that you're the owner of the property.
I and my wife together are the owner of.
Okay. Good. All right. So, I just need to swear you in. Yep, there you go, right hand up. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, great. I just need you to, on the paper over there, grab one of those, sign and print your name and your appeal number, just so we have it as proof that you've been sworn in.
March 2, right?
Yes. That's that. Thank you. All right. So tell me about the appeal here.
Okay. So I have a prepared statement.
Okay.
It's probably easier for me to go through that. It's more organized and whatnot.
Yep, that's fine.
So I'm here to appeal the recent revaluation assessment of my property, which has a direct impact on my real estate taxes. I was not able to attend the in-person sessions because my appraisal wasn't ready in time. Tonight's hearing was the next available avenue for me to appeal. I disagree with the town's revaluation, assert that my house should be assessed at $875,000, not the $1,031,310 that the town has assigned me. To make this claim, I engaged an appraiser to establish and produce a certified opinion of value. The appraisal was performed by a trained, licensed, and respected professional appraiser who has worked in this town for many years, Ms. Bonaventura. Ms. Bonaventura's work is also used by banks to establish collateral value, market value, and replacement cost value. A copy of her license is included in the packet, and she has certified that her compensation to produce this report was not contingent on a predetermined value or a value that favors my cause. I'm certain that you all are familiar with her work. Ms. Bonaventura considered three approaches to calculate an appropriate appraised value. In her detailed report, she states that she weighed the sales comparison approach over all others. The cost approach was used to support the sales comparison report. The income approach was considered but ultimately not used because generally single-family homes are not used to generate income. Firstly, using the sales comparison approach, Ms. Bonaventura selected three similar homes within a half mile of my house and all within the same neighborhood. House number 1 was slightly smaller, house number 2 slightly larger, and house number 3 was nearly identical, both in gross living area and lot size. No house varied in GLA more than plus minus 4.5%. All comparison houses have larger lots than mine. House number 1 was 77 Fern Street. House number 2 was 115 Loudly Boulevard, and house number 3 was 634 Beach Road. To find equality amongst the homes, Ms. Bonaventura applied adjustments. Adjustments to equalize the homes were made based on location and traffic, site size, condition, room count, gross living area, basement and finished floors, below grade, garages, and fireplaces. For review and transparency, a standardized schedule of adjustments per category is included in the appraisal supplemental addendum, and the appraiser's adjustments are listed in the sales comparison approach schedule. In this way, she is able to professionally make an apples-to-apples comparison. The sales comparison approach values 251 South Benson at $1,250,000 or an assessed value of $875,000. Second way, to establish a cost approach to value, Ms. Bonaventura relied on Marshall & Swift, a local builder, as a reliable source of cost data. She also used an extraction analysis using the comparable sales from those three same houses, Fern Street, Loudly Boulevard, and Beach Road. She didn't cherry-pick homes to support the valuation. Several adjustments were included to account for the garage improvements, depreciation, and other factors. In the end, the cost approach valued my home at $1,249,413. This value supports and validates the sales comparison approach. Thirdly, recall that the income approach was considered but not used. That's because, as I mentioned before, this is a single-family residential home, and usually these types of homes are not used for income generation. To summarize, I submit that the current assessed value of my home is $875,000, or current market value of $1,250,000, which is supported by the professional opinion of a licensed real estate appraiser. I respectfully request that the town adjust its revaluation based on the information I provided tonight and the appraisal information that I submitted in my appeal. Thank you.
Okay. I'm just looking through the appraisal here to see if I have any questions.
Sure.
With it. It is good that you did the appraisal, just to let you know.
Thank you.
And that it's recent.
Stated as of October 1st.
Yep.
Effective to 2020.
Yep. Let's just check something here. Just curious about something I saw on the appraisal.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that I understand. Is part of the property in the 100-year flooding area?
Not.
It's not, okay. Gotcha. Like that it might have been based on the structural file. Okay. And your comparables are Fern, 77 Fern, 634 Beach, and 115 Lally, and those are all recent sales, I believe, is what you said, correct?
No, they're not recent sales. The report should have stated that those have not traded in the last 12 months.
Okay.
I think the intent there was to demonstrate stability.
Okay. That they're the same size and
Yes.
rooms and everything like that.
Well, there were adjustments for those, but those
Yeah.
were accounted for on the sales comparison schedule.
Okay. And your house was built in 2017?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'll be got that.
It was built then, but the CO didn't arrive until April of 2018.
Okay.
So I could say the construction started then.
Yep. All right, anything else? Anything else you want us to know about?
No. Could you just tell me a little bit about the process?
Yep, exactly. That's what the next step is. I'll tell you what the next steps are.
Okay.
So what I will do is I will present this to the board, to the rest of the board. We will deliberate about it, and then we will come up with a decision. Okay? If we deny this, then you would be able to come back the following year and reappeal. If we do make any adjustment, you are not able to appeal until the next revaluation in 5 years.
Okay.
Okay? Regardless of the outcome, you will have the right to appeal in a court if you disagree with the decision, okay, that the board comes up with. Once we make a decision, you'll be notified within 7 days in writing, okay, and in there it will tell you about the process if you want to appeal to a court.
The timeline for your decision, can you give me any?
Yeah, so we have 650 appeals to hear. We're trying to get that in all within the month of March as far as hearing the appeals and deliberating and, the whole kit and caboodle.
Okay.
Is what we're looking. So you should hear by the end of March or the first week of April at the latest.
And your decision could be, yes, this is the right number, no, we think it's something different, or how?
Correct. It could be, we could deny it, or we could say, yes, the number that will give the full request or a partial request.
Understood. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good. Good.
All right.
All right.
All right. That's all I got.
John, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
You guys have a long hill in front of you. And
Yes, we do.
I really appreciate the work that you're doing for the town. So.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Is this open or?
You can leave it open. That's fine. This is John Spoldier signing off.